Greetings, welcome back to CS295. We are still on week 4. This lesson is going to be over gets. So last lesson we did setting up the form. So as a quick reminder, we set up the form to look like this. So when we type in the information, if we click on this, it'll go to post. It'll go to run post. And then if we run this one, will run to run get, right? Which is, so what we have right here, run get.php. So when we type in the information, click here, it will go here. But we need to do some other information first. And in this case, right, this is the code, right? So if you look at a trinket example, we have our get and a very simple HTML or standard PHP setup. And the biggest thing you want to notice for are these right here, right? So we've already taught you to concatenate and echo, but you'll see we have this global variable, right? The super globals, and then we have, as I was kind of saying, like a variable name, so to speak, right? Because that is the name when we put in the input and gave it a name, that's the name we used, right? So let's kind of take a look at this from our code standpoint. We want to kind of put their information here. So, and remember, we can just stick PHP right in the middle of everything. So, let's just put it right here for now. And then PHP, right? So that starts it. And then let's close it. Alright, and then let's just first create it to a variable, right? So, we'll go ahead and name this name equals, and then we have our call, right? So $_get, and then it sends it across kind of like a list or dictionary where it's in the brackets, and this is the name of it, so it gets this, right? The get has a bunch of different items, right? A bunch of different items in it, and in this case the subject will be whatever we got, but we didn't use subject, right? So if we remember what we used, right, it was username. That was the name, and that's really important. We'll go back and look at the code on this. It's really important that you make sure those go back and forth. I see a lot of students, that's where like, why is it not transferring across? Well, again, it's all about using the thing. And then we'll have email. Now, just like you saw here, I could do this all in one line, but I just want to kind of make it easier to kind of visualize. So let's copy this, and then this is user email, and now we can do our echo, and let's go ahead. Yeah, we're gonna put an HTML in here, so we use double quotes. You use single quotes if you have double quotes you need to put in it, but for now, your name is, right, and then dot to concatenate name, dot to concatenate space, and your email is dot email. Don't forget your semicolons, don't forget your $signs. Those are common mistakes, and we'll go ahead and save this. Now, again, this is what it looks like when nothing's there. In fact, if we refresh this now, right, there was nothing there. So there's nothing to show. But let's go ahead and try this out, right? So let's go ahead and go test and test at email.com. So again, we gotta hit the get because that's the only one that's there. Now it's not literally gonna just show up over this page. It's gonna just refresh this page and take me there. I just gonna kind of show you where it's going before we do that. But so test, we hit this, and there you go. Your name is test. Your email is test@email.com. Now here is the get. All right, and we'll go over this more and more. But notice it's up here. And you've probably seen this before, the question mark and all this stuff. I mean, Google uses this, for crying out loud. When you go to Google and you do a search, well, you can see all the stuff up here. Which, by the way, if you ever wanted to send someone a search to something, right, you could copy this and it will automatically take them to the something that you did, right? So this is a get, right? Google uses a get. And there's nice things about this because you can send those links and it'll take you right to that information, right? I can go up here and change test, right? Refresh this page. Not refresh it, right? Anything. Don't refresh it. Gotta click enter. There we go. And now it processes. Because really, what it does is the get just sends it to here. But once it's the actual code, it just grabs it from there, right? That's all the code does. The code grabs information from here. So when you create the get, all it does is put the information up here. And then the computer, the server, right, will grab that information and build it for you. And then you have the stuff, right? So it's up there. And that's how it works, right? So that's the get. Not super complicated. You can, and let's go back real quick. So let's save this one, close it, and let's just to kind of look at it, we'll go back to the form. And remember, this is why the name, username, and email, the method was a get. I ran the get, right? This is how it all worked, right? This one can't even actually run because this file doesn't exist. And then we'll show you the difference between post and get. And it really just depends on what you're trying to do, right? If you want them to be able to hear it. Now, this is probably not the best. Like, you really don't want to be putting usernames, and you surely don't want to put a password in a get, because then anyone who walks by them can see their password in the URL, right? So gets are nice for web pages that, right, if I send you this URL, it will automatically have the web page already set up for whatever you typed into the URL. That's great for gets. But this is how it works, right? This is how it works. In fact, like I said, I can sit here and, as long as you remember what the names are, right? I can sit here and type it in here, and then it'll show up, right? So just remember, this is how get works. When you send a URL like this, to the server is going to go ahead and use this get statement to pull that information from that. Right? That's how it works. And then it sends it back to you so you can see it as well. But that's what's happening, right? It sends it up, it grabs it, and again, you can modify it as needed. So that's all there is to gets. We'll spend a lot more time learning how to do this in practice and try it all out, and then do more stuff and different types of posts. And as we're going to see in a second, right, gets are a little bit okay, but posts don't like it if there's nothing sent. So we'll see some of the stuff as we go forward. But that's all there is for gets for now. So hopefully that was helpful. We'll move on to posts for next lesson. See you next time.